Yeah, I'd just like to know, getting to the root of the complacency issue. I mean, Canadian complacency is not something that we're talking about just today. It's something that has always been hanging around there, hiding in the wings, or it's been sort of a backdrop to the wider political stage. Now, do you think that Canadians would have to not feel proud of their country to really suffer in a way before they really become galvanized by the potential that the political process offers, especially youth, youth who are very, very sort of turned off or jaded by politics, even at their young age?
Well, I would like to think it doesn't take, kind of suffering on the scale that a lot of people suffered in the States to, galvanize people. But it's hard to see in Canada in the immediate future how people are going to become enthused by politics again. Maybe we're going to be on the verge of a recession, and if that's a tough recession and a long recession, maybe it will bring out an interest in politics that isn't there strongly at the moment. I mean, when times are good, politics sometimes doesn't seem to matter as much, and I think that Canada's been fairly prosperous for quite a while now. There hasn't been a recession for a long time, and so maybe politics didn't matter. But it's when times are really bad that you realize that politics does matter. I don't want to hope for a recession or any of the bad things that happen south of the border.
Right.
I think that would be terrible. I would hope that Canadians, and especially the youth, can find positive reasons to get involved in politics as opposed to reacting against the awful things happening around them.
Right.
But how that's going to happen is hard to say. One thing I will say is that, I really had renewed appreciation for how well our voting process works in this country and compared to the United States. A lot of people down there were scared their vote wouldn't count, simply because they have so many problems with the mechanism of voting. It's very easy for a ballot to be thrown out or discounted for any number of reasons down there. A woman I was talking to, Edith, said, the Democrats try to get as many people to vote as possible, while the Republicans try to get as many people not to vote as possible. And that's been going on for years. So there's a lot of obstacles to voting down there, a lot of technicalities and logistical issues that we do not face in Canada. We have a great electoral system in comparison to theirs. And maybe the struggles that they have to go through just to get their voice heard in the States has really galvanized people to be more committed and to work harder. But at the same time, I think we should appreciate what we've got in Canada here, where by and large our electoral system is transparent, and it doesn't see the level of corruption that exists in the United States. And so if we want real change in this country, we have all the mechanisms in place to make it happen. I think overall we have a better political system. We're just lacking right now in political enthusiasm to activate that system that we have.
Right. Well, and that's very heartening, and definitely Canada does have a lot of promise, and we do have a lot of great potential in terms of just being a leader on the global scale for a lot of things like climate change and just a lot of sustainability efforts, human rights. In terms of these issues, do you feel that these are things that can galvanize Canadian youth? Do you think certain issues might help turn the tide more than, let's say, a certain sort of leader? Or
I think the issues certainly can encourage young Canadians to get involved in a big way, especially the environment. The problem is you can't deal with these issues just in isolation. the environment is not the most important thing to everybody.
Right.
You know, everybody has got, you know, their kind of pet issue that they care a lot about, and those things change over time. That's why it's dangerous to run, I think, on pushing one particular issue really strong.
Right.
Because events can change. You know, if we were to run another federal election right now, I don't think that even the Liberal Party under Stefan Dion could push the environment really hard, because all of a sudden everyone's worried about the economy. So the challenge is to not be, you can't be so opportunist as that to say, well, you know, Al Gore's film was really popular and, you know, there's a sentiment that we should do something about the environment, so let's run on an environmental platform. I mean, you need to build a big, inclusive, kind of universal platform that puts the environment in context with a whole host of other issues, and you know, expresses a, you know, a cohesive vision for where you want to take the country. You know, I think it's okay for the environment to maybe come at the center of that. Yeah, I don't know what kind of particular issue it is that's going to galvanize Canadians. I again do think that it's going to take some good strategy and eventually a very strong leader to see the level of enthusiasm that everyone just saw in the United States.
Right. Wow. So, thanks for coming, Mr. Mayall, Lawrence Mayall, again, for all of you who are just tuning in at CUTV. Really appreciate you
thanks for having
coming
me.
and giving us your opinions as a man on the ground, innocent bystander to
tried to be innocent
to the electoral conflict that was taking place over there. But yeah, it was great to have your input, and we hope to have you back again in the near future.
Sure.
Right. So, thanks for watching, dear CUTV viewers. We had Lawrence Mayall, the freelance writer based right here in Montreal, give a lot of interesting input as to what the he basically distilled the different things that the election brought to the States, and what sort of impetus it would take to galvanize the support among youth in Canada here and basically re-energize the political process. This is something that has been talked about for quite a long time in Canada. It's something that we're always wondering, especially with the recent election, and it's very, very low turnout, one of the lowest in history. And we have some lessons potentially in what Mr. Mayall has been telling us about what we can do in Canada to really get that support back and move this country into the path it can take to achieve its wonderful potential. So, thank you, and have a good something.
That's good. That's good. It was good.
Wonderful potential.